Alright guys, so long time no see on this channel. I did launch the other channel about a year ago, but I think I'm going to get back to making some content on this channel, and it's just got the bigger following, so I'm just going to pivot back here. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about the Pete Rubish Deadlift PR program that I partnered with Boostcamp for. So, as many of you guys know who have been following me for the last, decade plus, I've been coaching lifters for the last dozen years or so. So I've been doing individualized coaching for the past 10 plus years, going back to, I believe, 2013 is when I started, March of 2013. So coming up on exactly 12 years. And I still do that, but there's only so many guys I can work with. I'm not the type of coach who's going to take on 50 plus clients at once. It's too hard to manage. It's too stressful. It's not ideal. So I know there's people out there working with 100 clients and things like that, but I don't feel like you can truly do a great job when that is the case. So the roster's pretty full right now, and like I said, there's only so many people I can take on. So I deem this a good option as far as a way to get some of my training out there, help some people out, but it's less involved and it's a lower price point. So I partnered with Boostcamp. We made this 12-week PR deadlift program, and I'm going to kind of explain the program here in this video, and then I'm going to explain at the end kind of what I've been up to as well. But as far as the program, you can use code PETE to get 2 free weeks on Boostcamp. Even if you don't want to do the program, you can just sign up for 2 free weeks. You can get 2 free weeks of programming using that code as well. There's a bunch of other programs from people like Jeffrey Schofield, Bald Omni Man. There's a bunch of people. So this is just my own iteration. Everybody knows me for the deadlift. Like, let's be honest, we're going back to the basement days. It's just what everybody knows me for. And a lot of my life has changed. It's been over 4 years now, coming off PEDs, everything like that. But I wanted to make something where that was the focus. So when I'm coaching guys, we're doing all the main lifts. We're focusing on hypertrophy, cardio, all the stuff. But this is just a little different. This is, if your goal is to get a deadlift PR, this is the program for you. So as far as the program, I've set it up so that everything outside of some deload weeks that I have in there and the test week, everything is 3 days per week. So 3 days per week of training. And I've set it up in a way where I'm not necessarily trying to kill you anymore. So when I was in my youthful days, 2025, I almost coached guys where I was like pushing them to the limit, spending hours on it in the gym. Now, that's not practical for everybody. If you have a family, if you have obligations, if you don't want to feel like you're dying after every training session, it might not be the best option for you. So I've designed this where ideally you'll have energy in the tank when you're done. You're going to say, wow, I could probably do more. And it's going to lead you to a PR. That's the goal. No guarantees, but I feel pretty confident about it. This is stuff I've tested myself. These are principles I've utilized over the years, things I've tested myself. So 3 days per week, you're at least going to want to have one rest day in between each of the days. So don't try to just jam it all together. I would keep it to 3 days a week. That could be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That could be Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. That could be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So anything like that, that's kind of how I would structure it. Now, it is primarily percentage based, because when I'm working with someone one-on-one, I don't work with percentages at all. So people ask me, do you do percentages? No, not at all. But on a mass scale, if you have an accurate idea going into the program of what your deadlift max is, you can calculate the weights off of that percentage using those percentages. So this works when you have a very current and accurate max. It needs to be current. Don't just guess and overshoot it. Have it be current. Test your max before you start the program and use that for your percentages. And then for some of the assistance movements, that might be more RPE based. So it's a mix of both. I have some principles I've utilized. You guys probably remember all the days of the library deadlifts where you'd set the bar down as gently as possible. Some of that's in there. And I'll go over it. Library deadlifts, the key to that is people get this mixed up. When you're doing a library deadlift, you're not going slow on the negative. You're just putting the bar down to where you try to make literally no sound, hence the name library deadlift. You want to be able to do this where you could pull these deadlifts off in the library and no one would get upset and they wouldn't even hear you. That's the goal. So the goal is setting the bar down gently to where no noise is made. It's not going slow. It's not a slow eccentric deadlift. It's a put it down as quietly as possible on each rep. The goal is to make as little noise as possible. So that's the main key I want to talk about with the library deadlifts. Let's go to pause deadlifts, because pause deadlifts are in there as well. Pause deadlift needs to be long. This drives me crazy. When I see people doing pause deadlifts and they pause for 1 second, the benefit is far less. You need to hold that pause for as long as possible to the point you feel like you're going to black out and your back's going to snap. That's the true pause, guys. The pause needs to be a smidge off the floor. So you should be able to see daylight under the plates, but the pause needs to, you don't want to have this pausing thing up at your knees. That doesn't work as well. We're not going to do that. I want the pause as low off the floor as possible, holding it for as long as possible. You know, I've done pause deadlifts before where I have to take multiple breaths during the pause because I'm holding it so long. That is okay. The pause deadlift is designed to put you in the most vulnerable position possible to where a regular deadlift is so much easier. Pause deadlift helps with building strength off the floor more than any other deadlift variation. So you're going to see some of that. 45-degree back raises. You're going to see some of that. And that is where you need to keep the legs completely locked at the kneecap. The knees must be locked out. No bend in the knees. Lock the knees before every rep so that the focus is on the hamstrings. Because when you unlock the knees even a little bit, you take the focus right off the hamstrings. It becomes an all low back exercise. And I used to think 45-degree back raises were for strengthening the lockout of a deadlift. They are more so for strengthening off the floor speed again. Because at the end of the day, most lifters would have a better lockout and a better deadlift if they just got faster off the ground. So we need to focus on these two movements to get faster off the ground. You're going to see rows in there. Dead stop rows. You can cheat on these. I believe in doing almost a row / deadlift hybrid where you're using a lot of body English, a lot of acceleration to get the bar moving violently, ripping it into the stomach. That's the ideal approach, in my opinion, to doing rows as well. So there's going to be some of that. Split squats, stuff like that. Lunges, unilateral exercises. I absolutely love unilateral exercises. I feel like they should be a part of everyone's program. They work fantastic. Split squats will always be my favorite because they absolutely destroy the glutes and the quads and the adductors. Those three muscle groups get hammered. So those are a big part of my programming as well. And the main thing with split squats, I don't feel you need the front foot super far out in front of you. Keep the front foot in a little closer. Try to touch the back knee to the floor. You'll have better balance. You'll have less likelihood of straining your adductor. When you get the front foot very far out in front, much higher risk of straining the adductor. So you're going to see some of that stuff as well. There's plenty of other stuff. There's core movements because we want to optimize low back health. I would recommend stretching as well. Hip mobility is always an essential piece of preventing back injuries. I do hip mobility work probably 5 to 6 days a week. I probably miss 1 to 2 per week, but 5 to 6 days per week I'm doing hip mobility, and it helps tremendously with your ability to move, your ability to get into a deep squat. And there are squats in the program. So I should say that as well. Squats are a part of the program, but they're more of an assistance movement than a main movement. So this is going to encompass the entirety of your lower body training. Do not add in extra lower body training. I have it all in there for a reason. Do not do any more. Do not add in squat work. Do not add in extra stuff. Stick to this for 12 weeks, then you can go back to squats as a main lift. But the key is do not add in extra stuff. This is all of your lower body training. You can do whatever you want for upper body. You can bench as much as you want, do all that stuff. Do not do any more lower body than this. For 12 weeks, this is all you're doing for lower body. That is key. Bar speed is everything. You want to get a big deadlift? Bar speed is everything. How fast you can pull the bar off the ground is the name of the game. That is all that matters. That's all that matters. So I want you to focus on your warm-ups and your working sets, and each rep pulling with intentionality, pulling with aggression, being fast, all that sort of stuff. Just rip the bar off the ground as much as possible, and that's going to lead to the biggest deadlift. So that's kind of an overview of the program. Like I said, I will link it below. Use my code PETE to get 2 free weeks, and check it out. There's already, it looks like 56 people have tried this so far, tried the program out. I still coach people, but there's only so many I take on. That's the end of the story. So I still, if you want to hit me up for coaching, I could potentially get you lined up for down the road, get you on a wait list or whatever. But this will allow you guys to get a taste of some of my deadlift principles without being coached by me per se. It's a really good value. I think you'll see great results. Now, as far as my personal life right now, I am currently in the midst of training for the Knoxville Marathon. I just want to throw that out there. 6 weeks out as of today. I weigh 204 pounds, 92 kilos, and you can see some of my training on my Strava. You can check out my Instagram. I link to stuff on there. I'll link all those below. But I been drug-free now, no testosterone even, for the last 4+ years. So I kind of do things where I'll do a focus on a running race for maybe like 6 months. And then for 6 months, I'll really focus on my main lifts and pushing those. So back in September, I'd been focusing on pushing the main lifts. I did a 12-week training cycle, and I got up to a 510-pound bare knee squat, which I have video of on my Instagram. I hit a 353 bench, paused, and a 640-pound deadlift with just hook grip at about 218 pounds body weight. So I'm doing a lot of running right now, 65 miles a week, still lifting pretty hard. Probably the leanest I've been ever in my life, outside of when I stepped on stage for a bodybuilding show when I was 173 pounds. But everything's going great. The Lord has blessed me. The Lord's been great. Life's never perfect, but the opportunity to do this stuff, to have my health, all that kind of stuff, I'm very grateful to God for the blessings He's bestowed upon me. So I still run this gym, Koa Strength and Fitness in Oak Ridge, with my wife, and have a little daughter. She's going to turn 3 in another month and a half now. So life's good. Health is great. I'll get into more of that stuff later on. Probably kickstart this channel again. Everything's linked below, guys. Appreciate all of you. God bless you all. And I'm going to be more open about my faith as well. So thanks for watching, guys.